What if everything we know is just the beginning? What if this reality we experience is just like a tiny sliver of something way more grand and more complex? Welcome to the Quantum Soul, where we explore the mysteries of consciousness and what might be beyond, our everyday perception.
It's a question that I feel like humans have pondered for ages, right? Like Plato's allegory of the cave,
Oh, yeah.
he was suggesting that we might only be seeing shadows of a deeper truth.
Exactly. And today, we're diving deep into two molecules that might just hold the keys to unlock those hidden dimensions: psilocybin and DMT. Think of them as like keys, maps to the uncharted territory of consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, what's fascinating to me is that we aren't talking about some, lab-created concoction. Psilocybin comes from, just a simple mushroom.
Right.
And DMT is actually found naturally in our brains.
Okay, so if reality is like a veil, could these substances be the tools that like tear it?
Yeah, that's the intriguing part. They seem to rewire how our brains interpret reality by switching off certain pathways and activating others that are usually dormant. One key area is the default mode network, which is associated with our sense of self. And when that gets quieted down, things get interesting.
So it's not just about seeing crazy colors. This is like a neurological rewiring that could change how we experience the world.
Precisely. Imagine the brain as Yggdrasil, the world tree in Norse mythology.
Okay.
Its branches reach into different dimensions, and these substances might be allowing us to climb those branches and experience those realms.
Whoa, that's a powerful image. It makes you think, are these experiences just hallucinations, or are they glimpses into objective realities that exist beyond our normal senses?
Yeah, some people argue it's all just an illusion, but many others believe these experiences reveal something profound about the nature of consciousness and the universe. They could be windows into dimensions that have always been there, but we just haven't been equipped to perceive them.
Okay, let's get specific. What does a psilocybin experience actually feel like? People describe heightened senses, right?
It's incredibly sensory, yes. Colors appear more vibrant, sounds are richer, and even textures feel different. But it goes beyond just the senses. It's often described as a deep connection to the present moment, a feeling of oneness with everything around you. It's like suddenly experiencing the world in high definition.
I've heard it compared to the Buddhist concept of impermanence, the realization that everything is in constant flux. That must be a pretty profound shift in perspective.
Absolutely. It's not just an intellectual understanding, it's a visceral experience of letting go of attachments and embracing the flow of existence. And that can be profoundly freeing.
But it's not all rainbows and butterflies, right? There's got to be some real psychological work involved.
You hit the nail on the head. While psilocybin might reprogram neural pathways in positive ways, it can also bring up deep-seated traumas, fears, and even what some call our shadow selves. It's like looking into a mirror that reflects not just the good, but also the parts of ourselves we might have been avoiding.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, could exploring these inner landscapes be like discovering an entire universe within ourselves?
It's a question many are grappling with, and that's why these substances are often called plant teachers or sacred medicines. They teach through direct experience, not through words or concepts. They're guides on a journey inward.
Now, here's where things get even more interesting. DMT. How does that experience differ from psilocybin?
If psilocybin is a whisper from the universe, DMT is a full-blown symphony from another dimension.
I've heard people describe it as like being blasted through interdimensional portals at warp speed. What's it like from your perspective?
That's not far off. It's incredibly intense, rapid, and often overwhelming. People report encountering entities made of light, receiving messages, and experiencing a profound sense of interconnectedness with everything that is. It can feel like stepping into a completely different reality.
So we're talking about encounters with actual beings, not just like our imaginations running wild. That seems like a big jump from just altered senses.
That's the big mystery, isn't it? Are these entities manifestations of our own psyches?
Yeah.
Like Carl Jung's archetypes from the collective unconscious, or are they something else entirely? It raises fundamental questions about the nature of reality and what's possible.
Wow, it's almost like something straight out of science fiction. And you know what? If you're enjoying this deep dive as much as we are, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends who are also fascinated by the mysteries of the mind and universe. Let's keep the conversation going. Now back to this mind-blowing DMT experience. What about the potential downsides?
Well, just as with psilocybin, DMT can lead to encounters with our shadow selves, the parts of ourselves we repress or deny.
So it's not all blissful encounters with beings of light.
Not necessarily. It can be a challenging journey, one that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. It's about facing those shadows head on, which can be difficult, but ultimately very liberating.
This all brings us to a fundamental question. Is all this just happening in our heads? Or are these substances actually opening a window to something more? It seems like there's always been a tension between the scientific and spiritual perspectives.
That's the heart of the debate, right? Science is analyzing brain scans, studying the effects of these molecules on the default mode network, while spirituality suggests that ego dissolution might be a glimpse into the true nature of reality.
So are these two perspectives necessarily at odds? Could they be exploring the same truths from different angles?
That's a great question, and it's where things get really interesting. Remember the Eleusinian mysteries in ancient Greece?
Oh, yeah?
They used psychedelic substances as part of their spiritual practices, suggesting that these two realms might not be as separate as we think.
It's like these ancient cultures were tapping into something we're just beginning to rediscover.
Perhaps. The neuroscientist Robin Carhart Harris refers to psychedelics as a bridge between science and spirituality. They provide a way to approach the same profound mysteries from different perspectives, which could lead to a more holistic understanding of consciousness and the universe.
So what does this all mean? Can science ever really measure the soul? Or are there aspects of existence that will always remain beyond the grasp of scientific instruments?
That's a question for the ages. It could be that some dimensions of reality, like the soul, will always remain a mystery, a testament to the profound and beautiful unknown that underpins existence. You know, it really makes you wonder if we're only seeing like a very limited slice of reality. Like we're attuned to a specific frequency on a radio and missing out on this whole symphony of other stations. What if these substances simply lift that restriction, allowing us to experience the fullness of what already exists?
I love that analogy. It's like living in a black and white world and suddenly someone hands you a pair of 3D glasses, revealing this whole spectrum of color we never even knew was there.
Precisely. And those colors might represent deeper levels of understanding or interconnectedness or even love that we haven't been able to access before. It's like our senses and our minds have been upgraded.
Yeah. I think that's what draws so many people to these experiences. You know, it's this deep-seated yearning for something more, this sense that there's more to life than what we can see and touch in our everyday lives.
And these substances seem to be offering a glimpse into that something more, don't they? They don't necessarily provide all the answers, but they definitely raise some profound questions about who we are, our place in the universe, and the very nature of reality itself.
It's like psilocybin and DMT are whispering, hey, wake up, there's a whole universe within you waiting to be explored. But that exploration can be intimidating, right?
Yeah.
What about the potential risks involved? We've talked about the psychological challenges, but are there any physical dangers?
It's crucial to remember that these substances are powerful tools. And like any tool, they need to be used responsibly and with respect. There's always a risk of having a difficult experience, especially if you're not in a safe and supportive environment.
So set and setting are really important.
Absolutely. Having a trusted guide or facilitator, a comfortable setting, and a clear intention for the experience can make all the difference. And it's crucial to start with low doses and work your way up gradually, always honoring the power of these substances.
And of course, anyone with pre-existing mental health conditions should consult with a medical professional before considering these experiences, right?
Definitely. It's not a quick fix for mental health issues, and in some cases, these substances can actually worsen existing conditions. So it's important to approach them with caution and awareness.
So let's look ahead. Where do you see this field going? Do you think psilocybin and DMT could eventually be accepted as mainstream tools for therapy or personal growth or even spiritual exploration?
It's hard to say for sure, but the landscape is definitely changing. We're seeing more and more research supporting the therapeutic potential of these substances, and people are becoming more open about their transformative experiences.
It's exciting to imagine the possibilities, isn't it? What if these substances could be used responsibly to help people heal from trauma, overcome addiction, connect with their deepest selves, and live more meaningful lives?
It's a beautiful vision, and I think it's within reach. But getting there requires a lot of education, open-mindedness, and a willingness to challenge long-held assumptions about consciousness, healing, and the nature of reality itself.
You know, speaking of challenging assumptions, let's go back to this idea of the veil. What do you think is on the other side? Is it a literal dimension, a metaphorical realm, or something else entirely?
Ah, the million-dollar question. I don't think there's a single answer that will satisfy everyone, and perhaps that's the beauty of it.
You're right. Maybe it's not about reaching a definitive answer, but more about the journey itself, the exploration and the expansion of our understanding.
Exactly. The real magic might lie in the way these substances force us to ask these big questions, to grapple with the mystery and embrace the unknown. And in doing so, we might realize that the veil was never really there. Maybe it was just a limitation of our own perception, a barrier we created to protect ourselves from the sheer vastness of existence.
Wow, that's a powerful thought. It's like we've created a comfort zone for our minds, and these substances are nudging us to step outside of it. So if we're willing to let go of our fear and step into the unknown, what might we find on the other side of that veil? What new perspectives or possibilities could open up?
We might find a universe far more wondrous and strange than we ever imagined. A universe where we're connected to everything and everyone in ways we never thought possible. And we might just discover that the very fabric of reality is woven with love, compassion, and interconnectedness.
That's a beautiful concept. It makes me think about all those ancient myths and stories about hidden realms and mystical creatures and journeys into the underworld.
And those stories weren't just fantasies. They were attempts to grapple with these same mysteries that we're exploring today. They were a way of making sense of the vast unknown and our place within it.
So are we at the beginning of a new era of exploration? One that blends science and spirituality, ancient wisdom and modern technology, to finally uncover the secrets of consciousness and reality.
It certainly feels that way. Who knows what wonders we might discover along the way? Maybe evidence of other dimensions, contact with extraterrestrial life, or even the key to immortality.
Now you're getting me really excited.
But even if we don't find any of those things, the journey itself is worth taking, wouldn't you say? It's a journey of self-discovery, of expanding our consciousness and reconnecting with the mystery and wonder that lies at the heart of existence.
And that's a journey we can all embark on, whether or not we choose to use these substances. There's so many paths to explore.
Absolutely. Psilocybin and DMT might be powerful tools, but they're not the only way to access these deeper realms of consciousness. Meditation, yoga, breath work, spending time in nature. These practices can all help us cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves, the world around us, and the mysteries that lie beyond.
It's about cultivating a sense of awe and wonder, of being open to the possibility that there's more to life than meets the eye.
Exactly, and that sense of wonder is what makes life truly worth living. It's what drives us to explore, to learn, to grow, and to connect with something larger than ourselves. It's about remembering that we're part of something vast and interconnected, this cosmic dance of energy and consciousness that's been unfolding for billions of years.
That's such an amazing thought. It makes me realize that we're not just observers of this cosmic dance, we're active participants. We have the power to shape our own reality, create our own experiences, and contribute to the evolution of consciousness itself.
That's a profound realization, and I believe it's at the core of the psychedelic experience. It's about remembering who we truly are. Infinite beings of light and love, capable of creating anything we can imagine. It's about reclaiming our power and our potential.
That's a message the world needs to hear right now.
I agree. In a world that often feels divided and disconnected, these substances remind us of our shared humanity, our interconnectedness, and our infinite potential. They offer a glimpse of a different way of being, a different way of seeing the world, and a different way of relating to each other.
And that's a message worth spreading far and wide. It's about remembering that we're all in this together, that we're all connected, and that we all have the power to create a more beautiful and compassionate world.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? Does everyone need to start tripping on mushrooms or diving into DMT realms to tap into this expanded consciousness?
Not at all. It's about finding what works for you, what resonates with your own soul. Maybe it's psychedelics, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's spending time in nature, or maybe it's a combination of many different practices.
It's like we each have our own unique path to uncovering these deeper truths.
Precisely. And remember, like the myth of Chiron, the wounded healer, these experiences can be transformative, but not always easy. There might be challenges, even some pain along the way. It's not about escaping reality, but about deepening our understanding of it, right?
It's about facing those challenges head on and integrating those experiences into our lives to become more whole and complete.
Exactly. And that deeper understanding might lead us to a more compassionate, connected, and fulfilling way of being in the world. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and the interconnectedness of all things.
This has been an incredible journey, so much to ponder. Are you ready to lift the veil and explore what might be waiting on the other side?
Perhaps you've already started. Maybe you're exploring these ideas through your own experiences, whether it's through meditation or art, spending time in nature, or simply by cultivating a sense of presence and wonder in your everyday life.
And remember, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the mysteries of the quantum soul, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. Let's keep this conversation going and continue exploring together.
There are 2 more videos on the screen right now. Click one to keep diving deeper into the mysteries of life and consciousness. Until next time, keep seeking, keep wondering, and keep expanding your awareness.